Welcome to Mythic Showdowns, where the boundaries of time and universe collide. This is a realm where legendary heroes and villains, born from the depths of Greek mythology, Marvel, DC, and beyond, clash in a spectacle of epic proportions.
In a desolate sector of the universe, beyond the reaches of civilization, a crew of rogue scientists stumbled upon an ancient ruin buried in the shadow of a blackened moon. Their curiosity and ambition drove them forward, despite the growing sense of dread that clawed at their minds. What they found would change everything. Hidden deep within the crumbling stone walls, concealed beneath layers of dust and forgotten technology, they discovered a dormant chamber. The team moved closer, eyes wide as they realized they had uncovered something legendary. The beast known only as Doomsday, held in a containment field older than their own planet. They worked hastily to disable the safeguards, believing they could harness the beast's power. But as the last barrier fell, Doomsday's eyes snapped open, a deep crimson glow filling the chamber. In that moment, the entire facility was shaken by his awakening. With a roar that shattered the silence, Doomsday burst from his prison, a whirlwind of raw, destructive force. The rogue scientists were the first to fall, their cries lost under the sound of breaking walls and collapsing ceilings. Soon, there was nothing left but dust and ruin in Doomsday's path. His rage spread from planet to planet, leaving a trail of devastation in his wake. Word of the beast's rampage quickly spread across the galaxy, striking terror into civilizations and sparking an outcry among those who believed they could stop him. But there was one being who looked upon the chaos with something other than fear. On his cold, dark throne, Thanos watched the destruction unfold through the eyes of his followers and spies scattered across the universe. While others saw only a creature of destruction, Thanos saw an opportunity. This Doomsday could become either a powerful weapon or, if he proved resistant, a worthy opponent. Either way, he would confront this force, and if he could, he would bring Doomsday to heal or crush him. Rising from his throne, Thanos spoke a single command that echoed across the stars. He would meet Doomsday in battle. Thanos prepared for the confrontation, aware that Doomsday would not be a simple opponent. Unlike the enemies he had crushed in his path to power, this creature thrived on destruction alone and possessed a level of raw power that even Thanos respected. Thanos' soldiers, those foolish enough to voice concerns, warned of Doomsday's adaptation abilities, his strength, and his resilience. But Thanos silenced them with a wave of his hand. This was not their fight, it was his.
Are you watching without subscribing?
Thanos' signal spread across galaxies, a call for Doomsday to come and face him in single combat. Though Doomsday lacked the intelligence to understand words, he seemed to sense the challenge. Like a hound on the scent, he followed the call, traveling across space toward Thanos' domain with one goal in mind: to destroy whatever stood in his way. The universe watched, holding its breath, as the two forces closed in on each other, anticipation building for the inevitable clash. They met on the outskirts of Thanos' domain, a barren wasteland scarred by storms and swirling dust. Red lightning cracked across the sky as Thanos stood alone, waiting for Doomsday's approach. The ground trembled beneath his feet as Doomsday appeared on the horizon, a hulking figure that radiated unrestrained power and fury. The beast's roar split the air as he charged forward, his fists clenched, his eyes fixed on the one who dared challenge him. Thanos raised a hand, gathering energy in his palm, and released a beam that seared through the air, aimed directly at Doomsday's chest. But Doomsday barely slowed, shrugging off the impact as though it were nothing. Their first clash shook the ground, the impact rippling out in waves that shattered rocks and sent dust spiraling into the air. Thanos was forced back a step, impressed by the sheer strength of his opponent. With a grim smile, he realized this would be a battle unlike any he had fought before. The two titans exchanged blow after blow, each strike creating shockwaves that echoed for miles. Thanos, though strong and skilled, quickly found that Doomsday's strength rivaled, if not exceeded, his own. Every punch he landed seemed to do little to deter the creature, and with every blow he took, he felt the raw, primal force of Doomsday's power. But Thanos was not a being to be easily outmatched. He unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, each one powerful enough to level mountains. Yet Doomsday continued to advance, his endurance unmatched, his fury growing with each strike. The fight dragged on, and Thanos began to realize the full extent of Doomsday's adaptive abilities. His energy attacks, which would have incinerated most enemies, had little effect on Doomsday. The creature adapted rapidly, his body absorbing and nullifying each blast as if it were a mere inconvenience. Thanos gritted his teeth, understanding now why Doomsday was feared across the cosmos. Seeing that his energy attacks were useless, Thanos shifted tactics, using his teleportation abilities to move quickly, dodging Doomsday's brutal punches and countering with precision strikes aimed at the beast's vulnerable points. He tested Doomsday's limits, luring him into traps, striking where he was weakest. But Doomsday was relentless, adapting to each tactic almost as quickly as Thanos could employ them. The beast's fury only grew, his attacks becoming faster, more powerful, as he adjusted to Thanos' moves. For the first time in his long life, Thanos found himself retreating, not out of fear, but to reassess his strategy against an opponent that refused to fall. He withdrew to higher ground, his mind racing, searching for a way to defeat a creature that could not be stopped by sheer power alone. Realizing brute force would not work, Thanos formulated a new plan. He knew that to win, he would need to exploit Doomsday's lack of intelligence and lure him into a trap. With a calculated move, Thanos led Doomsday to a volcanic region, a land of molten lava and erupting geysers, where he hoped the intense heat and unstable ground could be used to his advantage. As Doomsday charged into the lava-filled landscape, Thanos activated a hidden mechanism that destabilized the ground beneath them, creating a massive sinkhole that opened up directly under Doomsday's feet. The creature fell, submerged in a river of molten rock, his roars echoing as he was swallowed by the fiery depths. Thanos watched, waiting for any sign that the beast was truly defeated. But after a moment of silence, Doomsday's charred form emerged from the lava, his skin scorched but healing rapidly. He climbed out, stronger and even more resistant to heat, having adapted once more. Thanos clenched his fists, realizing this battle was not just a fight, but a test of endurance. Knowing Doomsday could adapt to any single form of attack, he decided to wear the creature down through sheer persistence. For hours, they clashed, exchanging brutal blows that shattered the landscape around them. Thanos used every technique at his disposal, striking, dodging, and countering with precise energy attacks that targeted Doomsday's vulnerable spots. But Doomsday was relentless. Though he began to show signs of fatigue, his regenerative abilities kept him in the fight, adapting to every new attack Thanos unleashed. Thanos was forced to rely on his own endurance, pushing himself to his physical and mental limits to outlast the creature. Bit by bit, he began to see the effects of his relentless assault. As Doomsday's movements slowed, his attacks becoming less coordinated. Thanos, observing Doomsday's waning stamina, formulated a final strategy. He recalled an ancient containment technique that could isolate a being's regenerative abilities by disrupting their cellular structure. Luring Doomsday to the edge of a massive canyon, Thanos activated a hidden energy field designed to weaken Doomsday's adaptive powers. As the field enveloped the beast, Thanos saw the first flicker of vulnerability in his opponent. Doomsday struggled, sensing the disruption in his abilities, but he continued to fight with brute force. Thanos watched, calculating his next move as the creature's regeneration began to falter. For the first time, he saw Doomsday forced to fight without his usual advantages, forced to rely on raw power alone. Thanos knew this was his moment. He unleashed his full strength, pouring every ounce of his power into a final assault. The two clashed one last time, their struggle pushing them both to their limits. Thanos landed a series of crushing blows, each one aimed at weakening Doomsday further, exploiting his now exposed weaknesses. Doomsday, desperate and weakened, tried to retaliate, but his movements were slower, his power fading under the strain of Thanos' relentless attacks. With a final, devastating blow, Thanos struck Doomsday down, watching as the creature finally fell, his body crumbling under the weight of the assault. Thanos stood over the fallen Doomsday, victorious but exhausted. His armor was battered, his body marked by the scars of the battle, but he had proven his strength. Gazing down at the defeated beast, he ordered Doomsday's remains to be contained in a specialized device that would permanently neutralize his adaptive abilities.